In this video, we will learn about loops and Dart. So in any programming language, we use loop to execute a block of code repeatedly until a certain condition is satisfied. And in Dart also, we have the three basic loops that are while, do while, and for. And in this video, we will start with the while loop. Now, for example, let's say you have to print table of a given number. For example, the given number is, let's say, num equals to 3. And we need to print the table for this given number from 1 to 10. Now, in this situation, I can use loop. And first, we will start with the while loop. So let's see what is the syntax. It is very similar to any other language. We just write while keyword and inside parentheses we put the condition that should be true to execute the loop. And then inside these curly braces we put the code that we want to execute repeatedly. For this example, we want to print the table of this given number. So what I will do is I will run my loop from 1 to 10. So I will define one more variable here, that is where I equals to 1, and for the condition I will put until I is less than 11. That will run my loop from 1 to 10. Now inside while block I will print, let's say I will print the num, then x, then I, then equals to, and then a dollar sign and curly braces, and inside I will perform multiplication, that is num into I. So we are using this arithmetic operator, and this is basically a way of writing string and Dart. If you want to perform some operation inside string, you can use dollar, and then inside curly braces you can perform the operation. For example, here I am performing a multiplication. Now how this loop will work? First, our control will come here and evaluate this condition. Now the value of I is 1. So if we evaluate this condition now, then it becomes 1 is less than 11. That is true. So we will get true here and the control will come inside, and then this line will be executed. Now once all the lines that are inside the loop is executed, we will go to the top again and evaluate the condition again. So what we need to do here is we need to update the value of I, then only we will get the table. And if we don't update the value of I, then the value of I is 1 always, and this condition is true always. So we will enter into an infinite loop, and that should not happen. So here I will write I plus plus. That basically means increment the value of I by 1. Now if I run the code, I will get the table of 3, as you can see here. Now if you pass any number here, for example 5, you will get the table of that number. So our code is working absolutely fine. Now there is one more thing that you should know about, and this is break and continue. So these are two more keywords that you can use inside a control flow statement. For example, sometimes we need to break our loop. Then in that situation, we can use break. For example, just for the sake of example, I am writing this here. If the value of I is 5 or it reaches 5, I want to break the loop. So here what I can write is, I can write if I equals to let's say 5, in that case, break the loop. Now we will get the table until 4 only, because as soon as we reaches I equals to 5, we breaks the loop, and after that we are not printing this line because the loop is breaked. So that is why we will get until 4 only. So let's run the code, and you can see we are getting the output. So you can use break to break the loop. Now what about this continue? Continue skips the loop. For example, if I write continue here, then what will happen is when the value of I is 5, it will stop executing these lines and it will go to the top again and evaluate the condition again. Now again the value of I is 5, and again we will go to an infinite loop, because here we have written continue, and that is why these line will never execute once the value of I becomes 5. So what I can do here is I can write I plus plus just before continue. Now what will happen is we will skip 5th in our table. Let's see. So you can see we are not getting 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 6. Because of continue, we are skipping 5. So this is how you can use break and continue inside your loops. Now the same way you can use other loops as well. So after while, let's move to do while. And we have a small difference between while and do while loop that I will tell you about. So the syntax is very similar to other languages. We just write do and then curly braces. And in case of do while, we check the condition at the bottom. So here we will write while and we will write I is less than, let's say 11 again. And we will do the same thing with this do while loop as well. So I will comment this while loop for now. So I am using a shortcut that is control plus / to comment multiple lines at once. Now this is my do while loop, and inside this do while loop I will write the same code, and let's uncomment it, the same shortcut. So the value of I is 1 and we are repeating the loop. So this time also we will get the same output. As you can see here, we are getting the table of 5. Now what is the difference between while and do while? In case of do while, even when your condition is false, the loop body will be executed at least once, because here we are checking the condition at the bottom. So the control will come here, it will execute this block and then it will check for the condition. If the condition is true, it will execute the block again and then again it will check for the condition. So pretty much same, just we are checking the condition at the bottom, and this is do while loop. Now the last loop that we have in Dart is for loop. There is one more loop that we use with lists, but we will cover that loop in coming videos. So for now, let's finish this video by learning the for loop. The syntax of for loop is again very similar to other languages. We write the for keyword and inside parentheses, we define initialization, condition and updation. So in case of for loop, for example, here we are initializing my variable, then here I am updating my variable, or here I am updating my variable, and here I am checking the condition. So all these three parts will be at the same place in case of for loop. So first we will do an initialization. So we will write here where, let's say, j equals to 1, because I have already used I. Now after this thing, we put a semicolon and we write the condition that we want to check. So again, I will write j is less than 11. And finally, we write the updation, that is j++. We will increment the value of j by 1. And again, I will write the same code inside loop. So it will just print the table of the given number. So if I run the code now, I will comment this do while loop as well. And let's run the code. So I did a mistake here, that is I am multiplying the num with I and the value of I is always 1. Because I'm using j inside this loop, I need to write j here like this and here as well. Now if I run the code, I will get the table of 5, as you can see here. And the same way that we did with while loop, you can use break and continue keywords inside your for or do while loop. So that's all for loops in Dart, friends. Thanks for watching.